Hey guys, it's Maria.
This is Tim.
Today is Wednesday, April the 18th, 2018. Welcome to our daily recap.
Maria, before we get started, let's go ahead and get those closing numbers.
Absolutely. The Dow ended the day down 38 points, closed at 24,748. NASDAQ was up 14 points, closed at 72.95. And the S&P was up 2 points and closed at 2708.
So today we're going to go over a lot of options flow that we have and also some low float stocks. And I mean, there's been a lot of flow that we probably need to talk about. Let's go ahead and start with VTVT. Now, this ran yesterday as well. I know that they played it in the low float run the last couple of days. Let's start with VTVT.
Sure. Let me get a 5-day. Here's the daily, or here's today's chart. And here's yesterday's chart, or I'm sorry, the 5-day chart. Really nice flat line, popped, came back a little bit, and kind of just took off today with a really nice amount of volume early in the morning. I do not
I
have
didn't,
any news with this one.
yeah, I didn't see news yesterday either. We didn't do last night's webinar. We had a little scheduling conflict, but this is one we wanted to talk about then. But I didn't find anything on BTVT. This volume is incredible,
Yep, the
and
volume is really
actually
nice.
on the volume ratio
12
tab,
times.
it yeah, 12 times the average 10-day volume. So not sure what's going on. Usually with no news, you don't get multi-day runs, but this one right here is, kind of beating that a little bit. So we'll see how it goes. Let's look at Seadrill also, SDRL.
Look at that. Nice pop. Similar
Yeah,
type of just flat line.
yeah, that has just been doing nothing and then just boom. Assuming it's just going up with oil prices.
I think so. It traded today 64,737,000 shares. That is 32 times its average 10-day volume.
32 times its average 10-day volume, which I thought
Yep.
was also pretty incredible. And another one that had crazy volume, which was 70 times its average 10-day volume, almost 71, was IZEA. And I believe they have ER tomorrow after hours as well. Any news with that one?
IZEA, they set their fourth quarter conference call for tomorrow, the 19th, at 5 p.m., 5 p.m. Eastern. So maybe moving
Okay.
just ahead of the number tomorrow.
Let's go ahead and pull out a little further time frame on that chart.
Here's a 6-month chart. Stopped right at
Kind of run,
resistance.
yeah, really, really close there. So this is where it needs to get over. Maybe just a little bit higher. Interesting.
And then if we look at a year, here's your yearly on it.
Yeah, that's spent some time considerably higher. Well, let's keep an eye on this one for the ER. SPWR. Now, this one also had some flow as
Yeah,
well.
SPWR did have flow. Let me get the little information pulled up. So they were above normal and directionally bullish. 13,009 or 13,009 calls trading, 10 times expected. Implied volatility increasing over 3 points to 79.5%. Put to call ratio is 0.46. Earnings are expected on May 9th.
Yeah, and nice day on that. Let's go ahead and pull up a little further time frame on this one too. I haven't heard much out of this one lately, so that's interesting.
Here's your yearly.
Oh wow.
So I'm actually looking at right around here, the top of this foot.
It looks like it broke some resistance today.
Yep.
Go to drop that down just a little bit, right in there. So there's definitely some little congestion right there too. So let's keep an eye on it. I mean, this one, solar seems to be kind of hot. Speaking of that, let's look at First Solar. Shout out to Own Wall Street. He called this one yesterday and actually a couple times, probably about 3 weeks ago. And the chart on First Solar has just been incredible. Doesn't get a ton of flow. It's really sneaky kind of flow. But you can see, you know, actually he called it before that pop. Let's go ahead and pull out a 20-day on this thing. We were going to talk about this one yesterday, and again, we didn't do the webinar, but this was on the list to talk about.
There's your 20-day. And this morning, Bank of America Merrill upgraded for solar to a buy on firming outlook. So here is what they said. New price target 83 from 75.
He must have talked to Vishal before he wrote that.
I know, right?
And while we're on the shout outs, CSX, Namish, aka Mr. Wood, Tech Money. This was his swing last night, ER swing. We all know ER swings are risky. We don't do them often. I didn't participate in this one. He rocked this one, just killed it this morning. A few people followed him
Sure
on
did.
that.
I wish I
Perfect day.
had.
Perfect day.
And actually, let me pull up CSX because CSX had some like last minute flow come in or end of day flow. So here we go. Look at this in the last half hour of the day. Above the ask, two above the asks at the in the last half hour. Ask side right before 3:30 Eastern, right before 3 ask side. So sweeps definitely coming in, not huge amounts, but definitely
And
seeing some
expiring this
buying.
week too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
expiring this week.
that's interesting. So yeah, definitely keep an eye on CSA. I love flow. That's one of the reasons. A couple of things we added today. We did get AMAT under 55, which we were kind of happy about. We hope we remain happy, but we did get AMAT under 55 today, and we bought 55s for May. So we bought just at the money May calls. Just a terribly shitty day. Let's go ahead and pull this one out for 20 days too, just for shits and gigs.
There's your
I
20
always
day.
like to get it down here. Yeah,
Looking on a 20-day, that's actually not a bad spot, at least for a short-term play. I like it. Could we see a little bit of downward movement? We could, but I do have some support down here. Not too far off, still around 54.
yeah. So we are in Amazon.
Or AMAT?
I'm sorry, AMAT. They're talking about Amazon on TV. And speaking of that, I want to jump from AMAT to Amazon. We had some call flow in Amazon today, and I just seen on CNBC that they've got 100 million Prime members now. There was a call that
Wow.
came in for the 1520s expiring this week, and I looked at that when it came in. It was interesting. They're going to be happy when they wake up in the morning, apparently.
Yeah, they will be. Look at that. Hit a high of 1556 after hours, now currently at 1550. I am swinging a call. And let me get I don't have a full story on it, just the headline so far. According to CNBC, Amazon, just like you said, Amazon CEO says Prime has more than 100 million paid members.
That's pretty sweet. So, how much was that sweep that came through today? I didn't see that before you.
It was 590,000. So they paid up for those contracts. Those were 1520s. Spot was 1529. They paid $20 for those. Down a little bit at the close, but they're going to wake up happy.
Those are going to wake up happy. Again, part of the reasons we like the flow. Those look very sweet. Um,
Also, before we move away from here, there was news this morning, which also helped BBY too. Amazon and Best Buy partner to offer Fire TV Edition. Let me get that pulled up because BBY had a pretty nice day today too. Let's get the 5-day. So this is the chart on BBY, and here was the article. So nice move up. Amazon also doing well on the news. Here was that. Decent day. We did play it in the room.
nice day on BBY. So also PayPal we added today. We bought
Yep.
80s for next week. Currently green on those.
Tim, I think you called that at like right at the very bottom.
It was close. It was very
I
close.
mean, it was pretty damn close.
So
Ew,
we are fans of PayPal going into ER next week. Yeah, we got close
yeah.
to the bottom on that one.
So here's the thing, though. I know we've seen a lot of put flow on it. I don't know how much of that is hedging or not, but I do like PayPal ahead of ER, and we're selling before ER, so I'm happy with it.
Absolutely. And another one I need to go ahead and pull up is Baba. Now Baba had some pretty good flow as well. And I'll probably just go ahead and take out the puts because I don't want to confuse people here right now.
Sure.
See those two purples right there, 195s for 518.
Right here.
Pretty nice
Yeah.
sweeps. Yeah, pretty nice sweeps. All on the ask. So, and I believe that was the same buyer as well because it was too close together. Keep an eye on Baba. Baba didn't act right for about 10 or 15 days, and by not acting right, I'm not talking about just because the price was down. The contracts weren't moving. Now everything seems to have shaken off with that, so we're back to big Baba fans. Not that we weren't always fans, but the contracts literally were not moving for a little bit. So Baba, I do like the flow in Baba. I love the close. That's another thing. Baba closed strong. It's been having that there for a while. It was pop in the morning, sell off. Pop in the morning, sell off. So Baba appears to be back. Microsoft, Maria, we sold some of our position.
We
We
did.
still do have some, and we both personally have some. But Microsoft as well, still getting decent flow. A lot of people hitting the 100
Let
on
me get the
Microsoft.
Here's the call flow. I don't have the puts in there. I filtered those out, but definitely we're still buying these up.
So we are still in partially in Microsoft, and this will probably have a pretty good day tomorrow. Actually, how are the Qs? Speaking of that, let's go ahead and look at the Qs because after that Amazon news and that rocking, I just am curious about that as well.
Just a little bit on that news. Let's go here. Let me get a 1 minute for today. Yeah. Oops.
Usually,
Sorry, guys. There we go.
usually I do pretty good with the Qs. Today, I actually had a losing day with the Qs. We're not perfect. I certainly wasn't perfect today. And I had called for 167 all day. I said, this feels like a 167 day. This feels like a 167 day. And over, I kept saying that. And it did hit it.
Yeah, you did.
I just got punked out of it on one of those dips. And anyway, Qs look good after hours. We'll obviously be playing those again probably tomorrow. So
I did play the Qs today as well. I ended up getting out green, but Tim, I know I remember I called you at one point and said, what is going on with the Qs? Because I felt like those contracts were just, I was having, it wasn't that I was, it's like, maybe it's just because we're used, or at least we're used to a little bit more volatility than we've been seeing. Those contracts seem to be moving a lot better before, and today I felt like it just took a lot longer. I had to sit in the trade a lot longer.
I was in a trade forever today and just
Yeah.
couldn't make it happen. Could not make it happen. MU, we are still swinging, and I wanted to pull up that flow as well.
Let me get MU. So MU actually was coming in. Look at that day, real quick. Wow.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that was really, really pretty day. The flow, let me get that pulled up for you. Lots of flow. Actually, I meant to filter those out again.
No,
Above the
you
ask,
can leave.
multiple times.
Yeah, leave the puts in there. I mean, there's just very few. Look at that. That's
Yeah, very
mostly
few.
scroll up and down that page. Scroll down to the very bottom. Look at that. Just very, very few puts. Like one out of every. It's not many.
Yeah. So MU, I actually picked up a little bit of MU today. And I'm actually still holding MU also. I have a
That's what
couple
I just
that, I have a
told them.
couple
We're
that,
still swinging
yeah.
MU.
No, I mean like in my own account. My bad. I mean in my own account. I
Okay.
have some May 5250s that I'm still holding on to. I have two left of those. And I did add some 5350s for next week. And those are green. So I picked some up on the dip this morning.
Nice. Love MU. So we are still in that, and the flow looks good. FCX. I wanted to pull up that flow. Last time we had this kind of flow, and this isn't for FCX. This isn't over the top flow, but we played this a couple times, probably about 3 months ago. Seems like the beginning of the year, and we killed FCX. I didn't even realize this flow came in until later in the day.
We actually started playing it last year. It was end of November, early December. And then it carried
Yeah.
into the new year. So here's the flow.
There's some puts in there, but overall, very, very bullish today. Nice day. We are starting to see some flow back in FCX, which it's been a while actually.
Yes, it
And I
has.
also wanted to pull up Netflix, and I wanted to show I wanted to show Monday's flow. I wanted to show the historical and today's flow.
So here's today's flow first. They came in right at the end of the day, 2 minutes to the bell, picked up some 335s for this week, paid $3.20 for those. And then historical, you said you wanted to see Monday?
Yeah, I wanted to go back to Monday as well. So I actually
So
posted these on StockTwits.
yeah, here's just Monday's flow.
Yeah, that at the end of the day on Monday. Those are the ones that had intrigued me. Those 420s they had bought above the ask, 120 something thousand. How much did they pay for those?
The above the ask, 120,000, $3.96.
What was the strike price? 332.50.
Yep, 332.50.
Hard for me to read on the screen. I know it's easier when I watch the videos, but as we're doing it live, it's kind of
Sorry.
blurry for both of us. No, it's not your fault. So there was some nice flow that came in at the end of the day there, Monday before the ER. And so I'm just curious to see how this one does. And historically, we talked about this in the room too. Usually you have that big pop day. You've got a
Yeah.
little couple buck down day the next day. Historically speaking, this thing turns around tomorrow. Will it? I don't know. But historically speaking, tomorrow is usually bullish for Netflix.
Yep.
Twitter, we actually sold yesterday. Somebody did, I've got a few messages about that. We did announce it in the room, so we are out of that. But the flow on Twitter is still very, very good.
Here's today's flow.
Still decent flow. Still decent flow on Twitter. Yeah, this should run into ER. Again, we did get out of that one yesterday, but this one will probably go ahead and run into ER. Another one we were going to talk about last night's video, Maria, was eBay. Today it gets a double upgrade. And the flow told us something was going to happen with eBay as well, or it just looked that way. It's a better pop pre-market, didn't quite hold it, but keep an eye on this one. Maria, go ahead and show the last week or so flow in that one.
I'm pulling up the upgrade information real quick before I show the flow. Some of those actually in the flow, I'll pull up the article because that flow was repeat spreads. So eBay was up on Morgan Stanley's double upgrade. They went to an overweight, and let me get
58 from 36.
Yep, I'm looking for the spread info for you. Here's the spread. So October 36 call spread sold for 430, tied the stock on a 20 delta. This also happened yesterday. So, and it does say the spread likely closes half of a position opened back in October of 2017 when 20,000 April 30 calls were bought for 770, tied to 37 on a 90 delta. The new position is in the October 36 calls. It expresses confidence that shares can move higher through the next 2, possibly 3 earnings cycles, including the next report, 425.
Well, we've been getting flow on Black Box for a week. I want you to go ahead and
Yep,
pull that up.
absolutely. Here's today's flow. Some above the ask. Definitely seeing a lot of call side ask. Historical from
A week or so.
let's go to the 12th from last Thursday. Here's your flow. Let me see if I can make this bigger. I hope you guys can see that better.
Yeah, there's we were watching, I think it was those 41s that it came in above the ask.
Right here on the 18th, that was today.
Yeah, anyway, I can't half see it. Alcoa kicks total ass ER tonight, and that one you had been playing the flow off of for the last couple weeks.
Here's today's flow. Still coming in on the ask. You know, a couple of sweeps, couple of blocks, nothing huge. I did not play it today just because it was ER, and I just didn't play it. But they did well. They reported EPS of 77.
Pull up the historical for the last couple of weeks. Showed them what you played going into ER, though. There was monster flow in Alcoa.
So this came in, it was a Friday. What Friday was that?
Look at this. Very few puts in this whole thing, too. Very few puts.
I think it was the 6th, Friday the 6th. I picked these up on that Friday and I swung them over the weekend. You know, you don't normally see this kind of flow coming in on AA. So I swooped those up immediately and I played it a couple times that following week. Yeah.
And even look at, earlier in the week, I mean, this has just been going. And this is when you don't see that much flow in. So it was very interesting to see.
So it looks like they reported adjusted EPS 77 cents on a consensus of 70. Rev came in at 3.09 on a consensus of 3.08. So barely a beat on the consensus. They beat EPS, or on the Rev, they beat on EPS. They raised their 2018 adjusted EBITDA view. So that's probably what pushed them up more.
Maria, let's go ahead and look at WDC.
Yeah,
WDC. Been getting some interesting flow.
So here's the flow. Today, they came in, bought the 85s for July, paid $8.85 a contract that was a total sweep of 748,000.
And look at that, above the ask, 413,000 for the 90s for May.
Yep, those came in on Monday. Here's what's worse is I bought these with Vishal with Iron Wall Street. He had sent me a DM and asked me if I picked them up. Either that or he posted it in the room that he had picked them up and I had picked it up myself as well. Or I picked it up right after him. I don't remember. Anyway, I sold it. I sold it barely green. I don't know why. I just sold it. And now I wish I had held on to it a little bit more.
Yeah, so somebody's putting some money into WDC for sure.
Well, we're talking about WDC. Let's talk about STX too. So STX.
I agree with that.
Let's go to today. One single sweep, 381,000. They picked up the May 4th 63 calls, and I like it. Here is STX. Here's your weekly on it, and if we go out 20 days, nice trend up. We go out 6 months, sitting at highs. I'm looking to play that break of that high. Let me go a year real quick. Actually, it is a 52. That's what I thought too. So just looking to play that break potentially, but definitely want to keep an eye on.
You sold some of your square. I know you didn't sell it all, but you sold some of your square that you've been swinging for the last couple of weeks.
So Square, I took a little bit of a loss on that today because I have 5250s expiring Friday. So I got out of most of them. I left, like 1 or 2 ride. So, yeah, that's okay. It happens.
That's okay. It
Nice,
happens.
beautiful move today. I should have given
Yep.
myself more time, and I kind of knew that, but I didn't. You know, I still have a couple contracts left. We'll see what happens with it.
APA, we bought some of that today. And actually, we've been playing these oil stocks, you have especially, for the last 3 or 4 weeks. APA, though, we actually picked up for the joint account today. And let's go ahead and look at that flow.
So APA is another one that you don't really see a bunch of flow on, but it just kept coming in. Ask, on the ask, above the ask, ask side, ask, above the ask. I picked them up for my own account. We picked them up in the joint account, and I believe those are green.
Those are great.
Yep, they
Interesting
are.
that that one and ConocoPhillips both. Also, I know that's two charts with oil I've seen that sold off in the last looks like 30 minutes or so.
They did. They did sell off. I believe tomorrow there is some kind of oil meeting. Or not meeting. What is today's Wednesday? There's the oil report tomorrow, Thursday's report.
Yeah, that one Conoco's still selling off after hours. Not sure what happened. That one actually closed negative, so we'll see. But we are in AAP. We are green. Let's see. We had AXP rocks tonight. We are still in Visa. I'm hoping that Visa gets a nice bump off AXP. Also keep an eye on MasterCard as well. Visa, we've got strikes from 120s, 125s, all the way to 135s. 135s are out a little bit. We've got another ER for those. I'm expecting this one right here to probably go ahead and at least get close to that 52-week high before they report.
I agree with that.
Definitely keep an eye on Visa. I think that one will do fun. Let's see, Maria, do you have what do you got there to talk about?
Let's take a look and see. So let's talk about NVIDIA for a second. Let me get the today's chart pulled up actually, and then the 5 day. So NVIDIA actually had a little bit of news, or not, it wasn't directly NVIDIA, it was actually Facebook that had news. NVIDIA took a little bit of a drop on it. So there was news that caused this drop on NVIDIA. Facebook is forming a team to design its own semiconductors, according to Bloomberg. So here was the news itself. Now, what's interesting though is that I don't think Facebook moved on this news. Nope, not really. And I'm glad I didn't
Yeah,
swing Facebook. I thought about swinging it yesterday, and then I told the room I wasn't going to swing it. It didn't have a horrible day or anything like that, but it was down a little bit.
I think Facebook's about a zero threat for Nvidia for the next 5 years or
I agree.
longer,
Or
probably
longer, yeah.
never. By the time Facebook can do anything, Nvidia will have already like sent shit into space and everything else. So Boeing, um, ER coming up on Boeing. That
Boeing.
thing is killing it.
I'm sad I missed the move today. So I missed it
It's
twice, two or
been
three times.
Yeah, it's been moving since that upgrade, that $500 upgrade.
Yeah, it
Over
has
the
been.
400, 500. Yeah, this one definitely want to keep an eye on as well, especially that cracking 340 is very impressive. But going into ER, I wouldn't expect anything less actually.
Exactly.
It's a nice day on Boeing. Let's see, Maria, I don't
Let's
have
look
a
and
ton
see.
of stuff. Somebody did ask us about LRCX. I'm very bullish LRCX. I did not hold through ER, which we had told everybody we wouldn't. I am bullish LRCX. Should have probably picked some up. I have not, but I don't think LRCX is dead by any shot. Nice
So I
upgrades
have
on
it,
it as well.
and I have an old line drawn on here. I don't remember why I have this line here, but I do. Held that line, held it. I'm actually pretty, oh, it's at 200. That's why. I'm actually impressed that LRCX held 200 or held above 200.
It had after hours and pre-market. It was kind of shitty, but I think calmer heads have prevailed in that one. So we are bullish LRCX. We don't own it, but I will be looking to get a position there. Maria, you're still holding Apple as
Apple, I am still
well.
in. I had sold some of it yesterday. I sold actually three-quarters of it, so I'm holding 25% of it, and we'll look to get out tomorrow.
BBBY. Let's look at that flow and then
So here's the day. Really, really nice move there. And we started seeing these sweeps come in. I was asking the room, what's going on? What's going on? Does anybody know anything about Blood Bath and Beyond? And nobody knew at the time, but there was activist chatter.
I mean, nice day as far as flow goes. I mean, I see two puts in there. It's a really interesting day. You don't see that very often, especially with Bloodbath and Beyond. But a sweet day. So the activist chatter, let's keep an eye on that one as well.
Here's the news real quick. At least 2 Twitter postings implied that JANA partners could be getting involved. This also happened in July. So we'll see what happens with it. Just keeping an eye on it,
And
no position.
so AXP did have, did kick ass on ER after hours, which we talked about briefly. Hopefully that helps Visa. Let's go ahead and hit that pre-market or post-market scanner, Maria. We also have some
Sure.
ERs we need to talk about as well.
So post-market scanners, let's look and see what's going on. We've got DPW moving up a little bit. BPTH, I wonder, aren't they? They are a bio, I believe. Let's see if they have news.
Oh, it's up 35% too. Not a lot of volume,
Yeah.
but decent move.
So here is the news on it. They announced preclinical data. So that's why they're moving. So it could be one to keep an eye on for tomorrow.
Absolutely.
We
And
have DPW. We're trying to recover a little bit. Alcoa's on there. EGHT. Look at that spike. Not a lot of
yeah,
volume on it. They, I believe, got an upgrade. Yeah, 8x8, initiated with an outperform at Oppenheimer and given a $25 price target.
nice, nice. And
So that could be
Alcoa we
one.
see.
Yep.
Yeah. Cinex moving with Alcoa, I would think. Gurn up a
PMI.
little bit after hours. It kind of had not a shitty day, but just sold off some. And there's still some flow coming into Gurn as of yesterday. Not a ton. HMNY is on the down scanner. Heavy volume, 1.3 million, down 16%. I think they did an offering, which we kind of knew was going to come out yesterday.
Yeah, HMNY is down.
Pier 1 imports, geez, under $3.
So here's the offering on HMNY. They announced a 150 million at the market offering.
Oh, geez.
And it says HMNY may use the net proceeds from this offering to increase the company's ownership stake in MoviePass or to support the operations of MoviePass and MoviePass Ventures.
Well, I actually, everybody in the room knows I've hated HMNY. I actually decided that I was going to give it a chance and like it. And we had some people in the rooms that played calls after Verizon took a 9% stake. Was it Verizon, I believe?
Yep,
Took a
Verizon.
9.3% stake. I'm like, you know what? Down here, maybe everything, is okay. But I mean, I was bearish from the time it hit $30. I mean, we had a couple people that actually left Blackbox because I wouldn't tell them that it was at $20. I wouldn't tell them to average down. I'm like, guys, you need to get out of this. And we had a couple members leave. You remember that, but it's because I'm
Yeah.
not going to tell you I like something that I don't like just to get you to stay. I mean, I've got to give you an honest answer. So, everybody knows about my history with HMNY. So finally down there in the threes, it gets the Verizon news. I'm like, you know what? This may be okay. And
Right.
sure as fuck, even with that, that's not enough. So
Yep.
anyway, I don't know. The movie pass thing, we'll see. We'll see. I'm not a bear or a bull on it at this point. I'm just like more just shocked. It's like you get a 9% stake by Verizon, you just do a big fucking offering. Incredible. But
Right.
it is what it is.
KMI's up on earnings. They released this afternoon as well, so they're up just a little bit. I don't really trade it very much.
Before we get into tomorrow's ERs, I did want you to pull up Google real quick. GOOGL. There was
Yeah.
this one lonely block that came through today, but on the app. It was interesting, so I did want to pull up Google.
Yeah, look at that, 396,000 tomorrow or expiring Friday, 1080s.
Yeah, so I thought that was interesting as well.
Definitely.
I did have that on my notes to look at. All right, let's go over tomorrow's ERs.
So tomorrow we have Bank of New York Mellon, we have BB&T, we have Key, we have Nucor, Philip Morris, Taiwan Semi, BX, The Tile Shop, GWW, Quest Diagnostics, and Alliance Data, so ADS. Those are all pre-market. After hours is we only have a couple after hours that I saw that I might want to watch. E-Trade, LLNW, and Skechers SKX.
That's gonna be an interesting day. Nucor actually had some flow in it today, that NUE, but I mean that's not uncommon. Going into ER, you will see a lot of extra flow. But that one, I believe, was up after hours as well. So keep an eye
Yeah.
on that one. So Maria, I don't have anything else.
No, I think that covers all of it. The only other thing is, guys, I sold the rest of my Red Hat. I'd sold some of it yesterday and sold the rest today. The only other thing that I did pick up today was shop. I picked up just a couple testing the waters out. The May 130s.
I
So
actually like
those
shop.
are, yeah, I like it too. I am green on those. And that was, I on Wall Street had asked me about it yesterday. And thankfully, he reminded me about it today. He reminded me today when he bought it. He told me that he bought it, which reminded me to buy it. So I did go ahead and buy just a couple contracts.
Very nice. That's all I have. If you guys ever want to trade with us, we do offer free trials. Hit us up on Twitter and StockTwits. We do give 1 week no credit card free trials. You can come trade with us live and use Black Box with us and use the trading rooms and the chat rooms.
Thank you guys for joining us today. Just like Tim said, if you ever want to trial, let us know. We will go ahead and get you in. If you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Please also like and share this video. Any other questions you can also put in the comments. We hope you have a great evening and we will see you tomorrow. Take care. Good night. Bye.